'cause your stare won't ever let me go. I'm here only 'cause I'm aware with you is better than all alone. Oh, 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 say what you're dying to say. No, oh, tonight we're stars, but we'll fade away. Go on, light me up. Oh, go on, light me up while we're golden. Come on, light me up. Oh, come on, light me up before we come down. Stars will always come down. So before
Hello everybody, welcome into Ghost Racing Network here tonight. We got a pretty fun one at Atlanta Motor Speedway for Iceman Sim Racing League season finale here in the 87 series. And let's get right down trackside, get into your race info and your starting grid. How about we talk about Atlanta here? Old Atlanta, we don't see this track in real life anymore. However, throw it back to the old days. Old cars, going to be fast, going to be slick. It's the Big Rick Smoke and Meat 200 here in the NASCAR 87 series. Race tonight going to be 134 laps. These guys are all going to have 100% fuel. 4 sets of tires laying around in the pits, and they are probably going to need all 4 of them at some point or another. Fixed setups for this league tonight, and 1 green-white checkered if we were to need it. Looking more at Atlanta itself, 1.5 miles. Track temp coming in at over 100 degrees Fahrenheit tonight, and that might play some trouble into some of these guys' hands. We'll have to find out. Getting into your starting grid, the man on the pole tonight is going to be Chase Paquette in the 10 car. Starting second, Michael Dorsey. Aaron Tribble and Elijah Ennis are going to make up row 2, and it's going to be Zach Lindgren and Jeff Taylor 5th and 6th. Josh Duke starts 7th. He has Anthony Colantuno, and again, I apologize if I pronounce his name wrong, starting in 8th. Joseph Costello in 9th, and Marcus Vander starting in 10th, rounding out that top 10 position rather. Jared Wishon in 11th. It's going to be Aiden Kirker in 12th, one of the guys to watch in that championship battle. We'll see if he can somehow pull it out here tonight. Would need a miracle, but hey, you never know. Starting in 13th is going to be Connor Trafari, CJ Seymour starts to his outside in 14th. Brian Bick in 15th. Jake Baker rounding out the top 16. Richard Kirker and Daryl Arnold make up row 9. Cameron McCone and Kyle Camper rounding out your top 20. And Paul Weckerly, the last car in the field tonight to make us at 21 cars. All right, here we go. It's going to be the only double file restart of the night, so you better believe these guys want the track position, and they want it now. Chase Paquette, Michael Dorsey, row 1. Aaron Tribble, Elijah Ennis, row 2. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in the season finale. Good even start. A lot more horsepower in these 87s than what we're used to seeing in a lot of series. These guys are going to get up to speed pretty quick. However, the grip level is definitely not going to be there like we're used to seeing. Got to watch for any contact. No fast repairs. You certainly don't want to make any mistakes early. Down the backstretch for the first time. Looks like Michael Dorsey is trying to make it stick on the outside. Thought the bottom would be a little bit more favorable, but so far it's looking like the 99 has gotten the top rolling. Looking further back, the 7 of Aaron Tribble, he is working the absolute tippy-top lane right up by the wall. Gets the momentum working down the front stretch, and sure enough, Michael Dorsey in the 99 is going to be your lap 1 leader. And he's going to watch these guys start battling behind him. That's exactly what he wants to see. The 7 right back up to the top. A couple different lines going here. It looks like most of the field is favoring the bottom line. We got a couple stragglers in the middle, a couple more up top, but they're starting to slowly fan out. And as this race goes on, that is going to be the general trend. Looking a little further back, CJ Seymour for Icon Seymour Racing, already up a spot from where he started. So is Connor Trafari in the 9 machine. These guys battling around a little bit. Jake Baker, no positions gained just yet, but up front, some of the biggest movers right now. How about Jared Wishon up 3, now up to 8th position. And Elijah Ennis on that restart gain 2. He's on the inside looking to track down the 99 now. I think tire saving is going to definitely be a big key for a lot of these guys. We're not sure the exact fuel number that everyone's looking at just yet in these 87s. You know they're burning more fuel than the current day NASCARs, but you got to also wonder, are the tanks a little bit bigger? We'll have to find out. And again, if we get a caution at any point, that could certainly mix things up. The 7 is going to dive low. That's Aaron Tribble. We'll see if he can make the move here on Ennis diving into turn 1. He's going to have to really go at the 1's going to pin it to his door, though. Can't make it stick. You see the 7 starting to wash up the track. He's going to have to use all of it. Now he finally gets in front of the nose of the 1. Nice pass here early, getting some track position. If you get caught in the dirty air in these 87s, it all of a sudden does not turn. And in that case, that worked really well for the 7 of Aaron Tribble. He just had enough room, and once he got up in front of the 1 had to get out of the throttle as he just got stuck in the dirty air. But don't look too long here. On the bottom, how about the 10 of Chase Paquette? Not the best start. Fell 2 positions, 3 positions actually pretty quick. But he is now starting to get back towards where he started at, looking for the lead here after he gets by the 7. But he's going to have a couple car lengths if he wants to track down the fast 99 machine right now of Michael Dorsey, who he's also in the championship battle. But from what we've seen so far here in the point standings and how it's looking like Chase Paquette, well, just about has this thing wrapped up. He would have to make a big mistake for anything to change. And even if he did so, Aiden Kirker would be the only other one really in contention. Michael Dorsey is in top 3 in points, but he's just not going to be able to do it with this size of field tonight. So Chase Paquette, unless somehow finds a way to finish last in this race and Aiden Kirker can find a way to win, he will be your season champion. A little bit further back in the field, some of these guys really starting to get spread out. I like some of the paint schemes I'm seeing on some of these 87s. So far, my favorite one, though, at least tonight, I think would have to go to Aiden Kirker in the 39 machine. Currently down a spot from where he started, just a few positions outside the top 10 and 13th. The driver out of Ballston, New York. Good looking, number 32. 39 car, excuse me. The 32 just to his inside is Josh Duke. Pretty similar looking paint scheme, a little different. Both of those cars looking really nice. Looks like Iceman Designs on the outside. That's Boot Barn sponsor on the inside. Now going up to the front, it's a little interesting here manufacturer-wise. How about just about all Chevys so far? Looking throughout the field, we're going to see a couple of Ford Thunderbirds as we get further back here. And still no Buicks yet. I'm sure you could spot one eventually throughout the field. In fact, we'll show you the manufacturer split. Look here at your tower on the left, and you see it there, just about all Chevys, at least when it comes to your top 10. You have to go back to 11th before you'll find a Ford 16th. How about Jake Baker, looking like he is the only Buick in the field, and the rest of them are going to be in Chevys. But Michael Dorsey, 8 laps in, has currently led them all. Continues to look pretty dominating, but these guys, although they're kind of separating, that battle of tire saving at a certain point, I think you're going to see some track position flip for certain guys. And with Chase Paquette being the leader in points, you kind of expect him to be one of the fastest out here, of course, along with Michael Dorsey. But is Dorsey maybe using up his stuff here? It's hard to tell. He's kind of maintaining that gap right now. I think he's doing a good job, but if all of a sudden Chase Paquette finds a way to get up to him in a hurry, that's a good indication, knowing that these guys are all on fixed setups. It has nothing to do with the long-run setup. It is just who can save tires the most when you're going to need them. Now, if we have a green flag stop here at Atlanta, it's going to be a little tricky for a lot of these guys. Not an easy pit road to get to by any means. And the 87s, these are really heavy cars. You got to get on the brakes for a long time to get these things slowed down. Very easy to spin out too, getting down through the gears. But pit road, no mistakes. Those are going to be a couple of the keys to victory lane here tonight. And who knows? We could see another winner. We could see a repeat, or we could potentially see what is looking like it's going to be your season champ. Chase Paquette go back-to-back, but Michael Dorsey wants to hear none of that. A little bit further back, we're getting a little side-by-side battling here. Looks like this is all the battle for 6 right now. Jared Wishon currently sitting in 5th. He's up 6 from where he started, having a good run in the 96. He runs to the inside of Elijah Ennis, who's going to have to dive in line. Nothing working there for him. Now just behind these two, Jeff Taylor. Anthony in the 98 trying to work the outside. You'd think he'd still get the momentum, but he just can't quite make it stick. It seems like he's getting a little tight off of turn 4. This time he does finally get clear. They're going to get back down to single file pretty quick. The 39 of Aiden Kirker starting to make his way through the field. He has now broken into the top 10, up 2 from where he started. 60's trying a little crossover move here. Joseph Costello tried to work his way back to the inside. Nothing there. Ooh, the 98 must have had an issue here. he must have got a little loose. That's Anthony Colon-Tuano. Let's see. Let's back this up a little bit here. I'm thinking he probably got really, really loose off of turn 2. And might have had to do a pretty heck of a job sitting. Man, laying down his own smoke. Does he actually get tight here before he gets loose? Yeah, sure enough. He just gets up and into the outside wall, driving it off. Gets really loose. Oh, my goodness. You talk about a close call. Whoo, Jeff Taylor. But then heck of a save after the fact. Keeps himself from getting any damage. We stay green as nobody else was collected in that little near spin. But man, oh man. Make your heart skip a beat for sure up front. The battle for second's heating up while the battle for first. Well, not really a battle because Michael Dorsey continues to lead, but Chase Paquette having a little trouble here. Aaron Tribble is trying to get around him on the outside. I think he's going to do so. In fact, let's stick a ride on board here with Chase and ride through turns 1 and 2. Now watch how far he has to steer this thing to the left again. If you're one of the people in here watching that's maybe not in this league and you're used to seeing the broadcast where we're broadcasting the Truck Series, the Next Gens, or even Xfinity, these are just a completely different beast. I mean, the let-off time sounds like something that we would hear maybe at Bristol in the, well, today Cup Series. But these cars, it is all about throttle control. Very, very heavy cars. They're not really meant to go through the turns too fast. High horsepower, though, on the straightaways, getting down to about the mid-130s. Down through the corner here is Chase Paquette on the inside. Now, draft still does play a little role. Clean air plays a big role, as right now Michael Dorsey has the most clean air of anyone. And then on the straightaways here, going to get up to about 170. Big early let-off point, and he coasts. If you listen, he probably coasts until he is halfway through the corner, maybe even entering turn 4 before he gets back on the throttle. Really has to pedal it out, and now you can see the 7 of Aaron Tribble has gotten clear. And he is moving up. We'll see if he can maybe catch up and try to make a move on your leader, Michael Dorsey. 15 laps in, though. I would expect pit stops. It's going to be close. I would almost think somewhere after lap 50. But again, I'm not 100% sure what these cars can do on 100% fuel. Looking further back in the pack, we don't have anybody that's fallen too far off yet. A couple stragglers. In fact, it looks like Paul Weckerly maybe struggled a little bit here so far tonight in the 22 machine. He's trying to claw his way up, but right now he's looking like he's going to need a caution. I'm not sure if he used up his stuff or is just struggling with the handling right now, but he finds himself in 21st position. Cameron McCone in the bright pink and black 4 machine. He finds himself at 20th position, getting a little racy with Kyle Camper in 19th. Anthony Colon-Tuano, again, I apologize if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, sits 18th. Jake Baker in 17th. About Daryl Arnold. Shout out to Daryl. Said thanks in advance to the broadcast earlier. Well, we thank you, Daryl. Keep an eye on you here tonight in the 6 Coca-Cola machine. Richard Kirker in 15th, excuse me. And kind of funny here. I figured that him and Aiden Kirker would be on the same team. Not the case. One of the independent drivers without a team. Just in front of him, Brian Bick runs 14th. Marcus Vanderlee in 13th. Josh Duke 12th. CJ Seymour in 11th. Joseph Costello in 10th. And moving inside your top 10, how about Connor Trafari in 9th? Aiden Kirker still moving his way through the field here since the last time we talked about him. Up to 8th now, up 4 from where he started. Elijah Ennis in 7th, down 3. Jeff Taylor in 6th. No gain or loss for him. Just as I say that, Zach Lindgren is going to fall back to 5th as Aaron Tribble just takes over that lead. Not the lead, but the position for 4th. Jared Wishon in 3rd. Chase Paquette has taken back over 2nd. Looks like he might have got a little tight there as he washes back up the track. And your current leader, Michael Dorsey, has led every lap since the drop of the green. And the longer he runs in clean air, the more tire he's gotten to save. He's been watching his rearview mirror. He sees that a lot of these guys have been getting racy. Now, I think Chase Paquette has been doing the best job of just kind of staying patient, letting a lot of these guys go. You know, he still races them hard, making them use their tire, but not doing anything too egregious. And it seems like that strategy is working out so far. Just a couple laps ago, we actually saw the 7 get by in quite a hurry. Aaron Tribble thought maybe he was going to have something for a leader, but then all of a sudden now he's falling way back. You got to wonder if he heated up the tires just a little bit too much. Chase Paquette is going to make sure he keeps constant pressure on the back bumper here of Jared Wishon, hoping that he can make a mistake here, if nothing else. And if you get too close to a guy in the corner, you can certainly loosen him up. You don't even have to make any contact. And now I'll say what we said with Aaron Tribble. We'll see. Can Jared Wishon maybe go up there and give something to Michael Dorsey. Jared Wishon is your biggest mover right now, up 9 spots from where he started. 20 laps in, riding on the gyro. In fact, let's go back up front, because we've got a little 3-wide action up there just in front of these guys. There it is. Can they make this work? Oh, we got one spinning, half spinning on the backstretch. That's the 85. He's not going to be able to keep this one out of the wall. Gets it spun back around. No caution, at least not yet. That's Zach Lindgren, who we just saw running near the front. And he must have had some trouble here. Not sure what started it, but one of the 2 drivers here for Elite Motorsports tonight with a very early trouble. Now the man on the other side of that, Aiden Kirker, his teammate, having a good night. But before we talk about that, let's go back and see what happens here to Zach Lindgren. Pretty early in the race, does he just get loose by himself? Oh yeah, you can see he's already struggling with the midway through the corner. He's trying to hold on, he's trying to hold on. Finally gets behind in his steering. Still trying to hold on, but then once he gets facing the inside wall, he locks it down. But minor damage. These things, we call them tanks for more than one reason. They take damage pretty well. I think he's going to get away with that. I don't think that's a night ender for sure, but I do think he's going to need a caution. Now back up front, Zach Lindgren must have had another issue here. Oh yeah, he finds himself in the grass down here in 3 and 4. So the struggles continue just after he got it back going. Now that long slide did hurt his tires. And is he trying to get onto the apron here? What happens? Yeah, it looks like he just gets really loose again. Looked a little more odd, but gets down in the grass. Still no caution that time, and as we go back live, the 85 now sits on pit road. Michael Dorsey still up front, and through all that, we missed a little of the 3-wide battling, but they might be back to it here in just a minute. Aaron Tribble, Connor Trafari, they were dueling it out just a little bit. Joseph Costello in the 60 machine. Just behind him in the 56, Marcus Vanderlee. These guys are all battling right now. Not for the 6th position, because Aiden Kirker has now taken that away, but for the 7th spot. Throw them all under a blanket. Oh, we got another one getting really loose. That's the 47. Ooh, man, CJ Seymour. He held on to it, but you can see these guys are really starting to struggle, and we still probably have at least 20 laps until that first pit stop. Now, you know everybody's going to take 4 tires, but the question is, can everybody make it to that point? And although everybody seems to be fighting the handling in one way or another, whether you're tight or loose, I'm impressed at how the racing has kind of all been clumped together for the most part. Up front, we do see a little bit of gap, but mid-pack, it's looked like we've been on a restart the last 20 laps or so. These guys continue to go at it. Nobody giving an inch. Oh, we got another one getting loose. Not going to save it this time. Back up the track. Big hit for the 93 into the outside wall. Caution is out for the first time here tonight. More contact ensues up front. Not sure if anybody else really got involved with just more contact. 21 sneaks by. The 92 is involved. Ooh, sounds like we have more contact back here. The 93 of Richard Kirker gets it back going. And that was indeed Brian Bick. So first incident of the night happens on lap 25. Let's take a look at it here. And we saw this just a lap ago from the 47. And you wondered how long could guys continue to go before something like this would happen. CJ Seymour was able to hang on to it. Unfortunately, he's going to just overcorrect. This is Richard Kirk in the 93. He's trying to save it, but that little bit of overcorrection, it looks like he might be staying in the throttle. That's a no-no on old tires. You start spinning the tires and it sends it right back up. And I'll tell you what, that is a tough break for Brian Bick, who had absolutely nowhere to go. And now guys are going to start trying to dodge this, and this is where things are going to get a little bit more ugly here. The 17, Jake Baker, absolutely slams into the back of the 92, catches a little airtime from it. 92 goes down and tags the inside wall just for a little bit more insult to injury. Let's take a couple more looks at this from different angles here. Actually, let's start with the cockpit view, because I think this is really going to tell the story a little bit more. Listen to the throttle output here. Actually, couldn't see it from that view. There's the contact. Go up to Richard Kirker, who was where the incident kind of started at here. In fact, 47 just in front of him, who we saw almost get loose last lap. Now take a listen. Yeah, just gets a little too greedy there with the throttle. He looked like maybe had it saved. Just tried to get back in it a little too soon. Tires weren't hooked up. Around he went. That's a pretty hard shot into the outside wall. That damage is definitely going to affect him a little bit. Not too bad. I think he could still be in contention here if he can find some speed later, but it's a tough break for quite a few of these guys. We take a couple more final views of it here. Look from the grandstands, and watch this hit here for Brian Bick in the rear end. He was also sliding around. You see the 17 coming up in a hurry behind him. Jake Baker with nowhere to go. Boom. Big hit, brings out your first caution of the night. Don't know if it's necessarily going to eliminate anybody, though, but it definitely did give a couple of cars some damage. And it's going to shuffle up strategy a little bit. You know, at this point that everybody did indeed come down pit road, probably slapped on 4 fresh Goodyears. Nothing else, at least take fuel. This is probably going to cut us down 1 pit stop, but I think I would expect to see still at least 1, obviously. I would almost think 2 pit stops still before the end of this race if we were to go green the rest of the way. But how about Jared Wishon up front, now up 10 spots? We'll see if he stays there somehow or decides to maybe go down this next time. Michael Dorsey second, Jeff Taylor third, Elijah Ennis in fourth, and Chase Paquette, championship leader right now, sitting in that 5th position. Now this is where it's going to get a little interesting. These restarts are no longer double file like we saw on the initial start. These guys are going to get lined up single file. So, you know, you would think being back in 10th isn't such a bad position. In this case tonight, though, I think it will be, because you're going to find yourself 9 cars behind the leader, and you can't make a move until we get to the start-finish line unless for some reason the guy ahead of you opens the outside up. And if you're up front, top 3, you get a good jump, you very easily could pull away from the field here. Lucky dogs and wave rounds do apply. Again, even though that's not the normal rules for the 87s, it is here in the ISRL series. I like that rule. I think that's a good mix of rules. Single file restart, still keeping it classy in that sense, but still giving guys a chance to get their laps back. It's no fun if you're trapped 8 laps down the whole race, but you still kind of got to earn it. Either getting the wave around, taking the risk, staying out, or fighting back and trying to get the lucky dog being the first car lap down. 227 says 87 series nice. Absolutely. First time broadcast to one of these, and it has not disappointed so far, as it does look like Jared Wishon is going to go ahead and stay out here. He will be leading us back to green here. If you're just tuning in, we appreciate you being here. Make sure you stay tuned in here post-race tonight. Got a couple, I guess, exciting, if you will, little ceremonies coming up. We got a Victory Lane girl here in the ISRL series, and she's going to be presenting your championship trophy to the winner of it tonight. Again, as of right now, Chase Paquette, he's got this in the bag at this point. Unless, all he's got to do is stay out of danger at this point. Again, heard pre-race, if you will, that all he's got to do is not finish dead last, and Aiden Kirker has to not win. If somehow both of those things happen, which seems almost impossible, then Aiden Kirker could steal this championship, but not looking like it's going to happen right now. 28 laps in, and I know it is single file, but still watch for guys to be very aggressive on this restart. Again, you cannot pass on the inside until we get to the start-finish line. Keep a close eye on it, because if anybody breaks those rules, they will get penalized. Black flag's going to be hard to recover from here at Atlanta. Out of turn 4, pace car takes the hard left turn back into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air here at Atlanta. Good jump for Jared Wishon. He's going to try to create a little gap on the 99. Not sure how long it's going to last, but he is going to get it while he's got it. Looking at the blimp cam further back, we already got a little side-by-side action a couple rows deep here. Aaron Tribble is going to jump, well, not to the outside. He's going to stay on the outside as Connor Trafari does jump to the inside. He's not going to make work. 7 with a big run up top. Oh, gets into the wall. Looks like he maybe had the lift for Chase Paquette. Didn't want to make contact. And, man, that was a close call. If you're Chase Paquette, you did not like what you were seeing right there. Now the 9's going to try to fall him to the outside. Gets caught in the dirty air just a little bit. He scrapes the outside wall. I do like what I'm seeing from the top lane on these restarts. The 7 had a ton of momentum, and you got to wonder if Paquette wasn't there for him to have to lift. Who knows? Maybe he somehow makes that work, steals another position. But up front, these two cars have already pulled away over a second from the rest of the field. How about Jared Wishon and Michael Dorsey? Dorsey, what does he do here? Does he make the move as soon as he's got it? Sure enough, he does. Gets a good run off of turn 2, and he's going to dive down to the inside through 3 and 4. We'll see if he can make it stick. Big run, nothing the 96 can do. Kind of wonder if he's on a different tire strategy. Jeff Taylor just behind those two. Aaron Tribble and the 7 machine, Connor Trafari and Elijah Ennis. Everybody else still hanging single file for now. It almost seems like as the run goes on, these guys like to get more 2x2, but here we go. Ooh, the 47 is going to wash up the track. Not sure if he hit the apron, got caught in dirty air. That's CJ Seymour, and they might go 3 wide here. The 98's going to have to cut a little break for the 47 as he had a guy to his inside. Further back, they're single file. Coming to lap 32 here of 134. Michael Dorsey, well, unfortunately, no matter how good he does, he's not going to be able to say he led every lap because Jared Wishon got the best of him on that first lap in this previous restart. But he is back out in front where he has been so much of tonight. And it's kind of a game of who can catch him at this point. And I don't know the rest of the season these guys had here, just doing a broadcast here for the championship race. But if you're Michael Dorsey right now, you kind of got to be wondering to yourself, what if? Maybe there was a couple races here and there throughout the season where he felt like he should have had a better run. Maybe things didn't go his way. Maybe he had some bad luck. But he just looked so fast tonight. They went here earlier in the season. The racing was great, as it has been so far tonight. And he's got to be thinking to himself, with the speed he's got here tonight, if he had a chance at that championship, very well could have been his, but just not going to be his night tonight. Doesn't matter if he wins the race. But hey, winning the race is always a sweet deal for sure. Getting plenty of TV time, get some good momentum carrying on for next season. And he is already pulling away from the 96 machine. Got it up to over half a second. Almost 2 seconds on the third place car. Further back, thought I heard a little contact with the wall. Ooh, the 98. Wheeling and dealing again. Looks like he was doing a little dirt track in there through 3 and 4. Gathers it back up. Got the 91 of Kyle Camper. Haven't talked about him too much here tonight, but he is up 5 from where he started. Got a solid top 15 run going. Just in front of him, Marcus Vanderlee. Joined late, but the 56 machine is trying to get himself inside the top 10. Still's got some work to do, but plenty of time to do it. Further up, the 7 of Aaron Tribble. His car has been on and off so far tonight. He's fallen back, then he's gained everything that he lost, and then he kind of falls back again. And that's just been the trend that the 7 car has followed just about all night, if you will. And he would certainly like to maybe change that around. Maybe make it just to the front, not to the back at all. But speaking of the back, Richard Kirker, since that wreck, he is currently sitting last on track as Zach Lindgren, also with troubles earlier. Didn't get any damage, but spun a couple times by himself. And it looks like the 17, Jake Baker, battling a little bit. Ooh, a lot of smoke. Not sure if somebody had some issue or what. That's usually a good sign that somebody got really loose. Nothing to find here as they're working their way out of turn 4. 35 laps in. We are going to take our first side-by-side break of the night. You won't miss a thing. Stick with us. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets over it into the lead under record.
3 by 3 entering 4.
3 do. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the season finale for the ISRL 87's series. And you saw it all side by side. Not too much, nothing too crazy. A little bit of side-by-side action here through the mid-pack. Up front, no lead change. Michael Dorsey still looking strong out in front. And we do have to talk about the main 3, your championship contender 3, if you will. Again, no playoff system here this season. It was just total points, just like they used to do in the old days. So if you didn't have consistency over the season, then you didn't find yourself in the top 3 at the end of the season for points. All the more reason that we can give a shout out to some of these guys. And why don't we start with the order that they're running here? That would lead us to Michael Dorsey. Sat 3rd in the points coming into tonight. And before I say anything else, get the audio back on the track. But as I was just starting to say, had a pretty good season up this point. Finds himself 3rd in points. And although he's not going to have a chance at getting the championship here tonight, is going to go home with at least 2, potentially making it 3 wins on the season if he can get it done here tonight. 11 top 5 and 615 points coming here, and 14 starts as well. So he did have 1 less start than the other 2 that we're going to talk about in just a moment. But nonetheless, a solid season and a solid run so far here tonight for Michael Dorsey. You're going to have to go back a couple positions here before we're going to find the man that is, well, second in the race, not second in the race, sixth in the race, but finds himself leading the points, and that is Chase Paquette, and he is looking to close this deal off here tonight. 15 starts for the number 10 car. How about 5 wins, 11 top 5s, 13 top 10s, currently sitting at 652 points in the season. And last but certainly not least is the man with the best paint scheme out of all 3 of them right now. And that is going to be Aiden Kirker. Comes in tonight second in points. We talked about the miracle that he would need to somehow find a way to win this thing. May not get that, but what he did get this season after 15 starts was 2 wins, tied with Michael Dorsey. Again, one of those 2 could break that and beat the other one here tonight. We'll have to see. 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s. And he comes in tonight with 629 total points. There's your race summary of the top 3 when it comes to the championship battle here tonight. But again, it doesn't really matter who goes home in front. It matters who goes home with the most points. Little battling back here. These guys have started to get comfortable again on these new sets of tires. Not really new anymore, but the 9, Connor Trafari, is looking to the inside of Chase Paquette. The 11 would like to pull away from these guys battling. The inside, boy, it's a real struggle when you start to get tight on the inside. You're trying to wash up just a little bit, use as much track as you can, but if the guy on the outside decides to kind of pin you down there, you're kind of stuck. There's not much more you can do unless you want to take him out. You have to lift. Kind of concede that position. Chase Paquette doing a masterful job of making sure the 9 couldn't get it there. And you see with the way these cars run, momentum is key. There's no shifting going on in the next gens. And these gears are long, so if you make a mistake, it takes a while to get them back going again. The 1 of Elijah Ennis also had gotten by the 9 when he had that little slip up there. Now, Aiden Kirker had gotten really close to your top 5, if not in, during that last green flag run. He's still fighting to get back to that position. And if he can somehow find a way past all 4 of these guys in this group, he would be back there. He's going to have to start first with Connor Trafari in the 9. He dives to the inside. We'll see if he can make it work. Can get trapped in a little bit of dirty air there. If the 9 can make it stick on the outside, he'll have a run down the straightaway. Sure enough, the 39 gets clear. Power move from Aiden Kirker. Got to wonder if he's been saving a little tire here. Back up front, though, Michael Dorsey still leading the way. He's got about an 0.8 of a second lead over Jared Wishon, who after losing the lead, all things considered, not doing too bad for a second. Again, not sure if he's on a different tire strategy or what, but the fact that he hasn't even fallen off a second yet is pretty good news, and he might have some speed later on in this race. Chase Paquette third, but everybody him on back is at least 2.5 seconds back, so they would have a lot of work, and in time are probably going to need a caution to help out their chances of potentially going for a win here tonight. That's why we've kind of had the cameras further back in the pack for most of the races, because that's where the battling has been. Richard Kirker in 21st, racing to try to get himself back on the lead lap. And he's got to race a couple guys. He is not the only car a lap down. In fact, we have 2 of them lap down. Zach Lindgren, who's actually just in front of Kirker right now. That's probably part of the reason that they're both racing so hard. Let's see what Lindgren can do here. Looks like he's got a little bit cleaner air being in front of this group, but you got to believe Richard Kirker, as long as he's got the speed to do it, he's going to try to get back around. Here's a look at Paul Weckerly sitting in 19th, up 2 from where he started, kind of on an island by himself. And let's check out your track map. Doesn't look like your leader is going to have to face any lap traffic anytime soon. Good news for him is he's just going to continue to try to extend his lead over the rest of the field. The cluster still continues to be back here. It's right on board. But with Aiden Kirker in the 39 machine. Gets that nice smooth entry. You can hear the tires slide just a little bit. Nothing wrong with a little bit of slide, but the louder that tire noise is, the more you're sliding those tires, the more you're using them up, and the quicker the handling's really going to start to go away. And it's weird, right? Because, you know, in these 87s, once you get on old tires, you get tight, but you also get loose. You feel like you can't drive it down in the corner as much. It wants to go up into the wall, but then when you're ready to get back on the throttle, if the back end's not locked up, these things are very, very easy to spun out, as we've already seen tonight. We had a couple guys go around on the backstretch, one of those incidents, which did bring out your first and only caution so far of the night. And a little bit back here, the 32 of Josh Duke. Getting a little race with these guys. There's the 47, the 60, and the 9. CJ Seymour, been a little bit of a rough night for him. Up 2 spots from where he started, all things considered, but I can tell this guy's got more speed than what he's been able to show tonight. But he's also been struggling. It's been getting loose. You know, important to note that he is the only Ford in the field. Oh, my goodness. big correction there for the 9. I don't know if that was from him seeing the 47 come up or what. He's still trying to hold on to it. Can he do it? He's still trying to hang on. Now he goes low. Don't overcorrect it here. Easy, Connor. Oh, man, he is still trying to keep this thing together through 3 and 4. Then he's still holding on, Oh, my goodness. And if he's not careful, he's going to spin this thing out. And at a certain point, you got to bail out of it. I mean, he has been drifting this thing around the last lap and a half. What is going on? You saw the hands there for a split second working the 9. And I was trying to see if he finally got this thing worked out. No, he is still loose. Let's just ride on board here because this might not be over just yet. He'd had to lift a lap ago to make sure that I think he saw the 47 maybe coming up, wobbled just a little bit, and he had been trying to save it for the next about half of the track, and now you can see he's just loose, working that wheel to the right. No throttle time, but he is drifting, and this is not going to last for too long at this point. He has burned those rear tires off. Go to the rear chase cam here, give you a better view, too, of those hands going to work. Watch the yellow gloves. Man, you know, I know he's trying, but he's got to figure something out here. He's just putting on a smoke show at this point. He's going to spin out here in the next couple laps if he's not careful. He either needs to go down to the pit, take some fresh tires, or he's just going to have to try to figure out a different lane, maybe no throttle really at all. But if he slips up like he keeps doing here in front of somebody, that thing's going to go around. Still trying to save it. I'm too tempted to... I don't want to go anywhere else right now. I'm so focused on what's going on here with the 9. He's been even loose here on the tribal and the straightaway on the back, but we'll give him one more turn here to see if he still holds on. Yeah, that thing is just not looking too stable down. Now, we know these do get loose in the back, but that's more than just a little loose here as he drives up the track. We'll keep an eye on that situation, but if we get a caution, the first place that we might be looking. A little bit of action going up here. The 32 with a big run. Shot out of a cannon. Ooh, thought I heard a little contact here further back. But maybe tap the inside or the outside wall rather a little bit. And it looks like Zach Lindgren has crashed. See what happens here to the 93. Already involved in one incident tonight. This is off turn 2. And he was racing the 85. Well, that is the 85 rather. He was racing the 93 of Richard Kirker pretty hard. They were both looking for the lucky dog, and they both get the bad end of the stick. Richard Kirker more damage. Tough break for both of those guys. I'm sure Kirker is probably not too happy, but just part of two guys really going at it. Racing incident. We do stay green, though, and up front, Michael Dorsey stays in the lead here, 54 laps in. Chase Paquette in third. Jared Wishon, though, still hanging on to second. Doing a nice job, only about a second back. He hasn't really let it stretch out any farther just yet. And now here's the main battle that's going on track right now. We're keeping an eye on it. The 32 of Josh Duke trying to find his way to the inside here of Daryl Arnold and Aaron Tribble. We haven't talked too much about Daryl here tonight, but he is up in the top 10, having a good run. Coca-Cola machine. The 7, though, still working the outside. Aaron Tribble has been one of the few guys that has been able to really make that lane work for just about the whole run here tonight and still keep track position. You know that the outside has the potential to be fast. We've seen it on restarts. We've seen it early in the runs, but once you start to get later in the run, it always concerns you just a little bit. Watching up here in the booth or as a driver, all it takes is just a little bit of a slip up, maybe a bump at the wrong time, a little bit too much throttle, anything. You get in that outside wall, it's really hard to get out of it, and we've already seen a couple guys struggle trying to save it once that's happened. Either way, though, the 32 of Josh Duke, he's running that middle line, and those three seams are basically showing you the three lines that everybody back here is mixing it up and running different lanes with. 32 Josh Duke, he's looking to the outside now. We'll see if he can maybe get a little side draft here down into turn 1. He chooses to stay high. The 6 can't quite get clear. That does put Josh Duke side by side with Daryl Arnold. We'll see if he can complete the pass here out of 2. Now behind these guys, the 4 of Cameron McCone still sitting in 14th. He is up 5 from where he started. One of the many Chevys in the field tonight for Cam McCone Sim Racing. Just behind him, though, Jake Baker, even with front end damage, still trying to make something out of it. Hometown Cincinnati doesn't have any team here, doing it by himself and looking pretty good so far here, 57 laps in. And again, we continue to note that there's just no battle up front right now. Michael Dorsey, it's just basically been him trying to run qualifying laps this entire race. And if you are looking for a battle, you're going to have to fall back to mid-pack to get one. But now they're starting to get strung out a little bit more than what we saw on the last run at this point in the run. And you got to wonder, I would expect pit stops maybe I shouldn't say expect just in case I'm wrong, but I would kind of wonder if pit stops aren't going to be up and coming. And I would say sometime in the next 20, maybe to be a little more conservative, 20 to 30 laps. Again, not sure until we see that first green flag stop what the fuel window is looking like. All we know is that we have 100% fuel. Taking a look at the weather on track. Wind still calm at 2 miles an hour coming from the north. Track temp, though, cooled down a little bit. In fact, at 110 degrees Fahrenheit, down from 116 degrees, which is what we started the race at. Air temp outside still pretty toasty at 89 degrees Fahrenheit. So the track temp is still pretty hot. That's certainly not helping the case for any of these guys, especially the ones that have been really loose, such as the 9 of Connor Trafari. And in fact, let's go back and see how Connor's doing. We saw him really struggling, and it looks like he may have retired, actually. Sure enough, he must have just been struggling too much with the handling. Didn't feel like it was worth it. Zach Lindgren is on pit road still. So is Richard Kirker. Those two involved in an on-track incident, fighting for the lucky dog. And looking like that's going to end both of their nights. Connor Trafari, he has also had his night ended. Thing just was not handling for him. Not too surprised to see that, but you certainly hate to see it. Now keep an eye here. Jared Wishon, he's starting to close the gap a little bit here. Almost down to 0.7 of a second. It got all the way up to about 1.2 at one point. But getting it down to 0.7 of a second, he's using that draft. You got to wonder, did the 96 maybe do this by design, intentionally fade back, save tire longer than Michael Dorsey has? We'll have to keep an eye on it here the next 5 laps or so, but that'd be an impressive move. He can find his way back to the front and maybe look for a pass. Chase Paquette is also starting to close that gap. Now has it almost down to 2 seconds. Aiden Kirker just about almost back inside your top 5. He's got one more guy that he's got to contend with before he'll be in that position. It's going to be Elijah Ennis in the 1 car. Aiden Kirker just continues to fight. If he can get into the pits here, have a clean stop, I think he's going to have a chance at least a top 3. You never know. If we get a late restart, maybe a shot at the win. Definitely looks strong on the long run. Not sure if he's got anything for the short run yet, or if we just haven't really had a chance to see it. And it looks like CJ Seymour was maybe blinking a little bit there. I think that was him. Gets it sorted out. He's looking to go around the outside with Daryl Arnold. They are trying to make their way around the 7 of Aaron Tribble, who's usually the one that we would see in that position on the outside. He continues to roll it. Halfway point coming up in about 10 laps or so. Good time for a quick announcement here. Just down for just a second, and we're going to talk about the place that we had next here on Ghost Racing Network. Thursday night, saw the ad for it. It's the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series. The Blaster 120, my co-host Matthew Baker joins me in the booth for it. Look at these prize payouts. It's a $16 entry. The last 3 weeks we've had over 40 entries. Last week we had 53 trucks starting the race, and that is what has allowed for these huge payouts with low entry fee. Practice at 10, green flag following qualifying, which is at 10:30. Make sure you don't miss out, or if nothing else, stop by and say hi to us here at the broadcast booth. Speaking of saying hi, I want to say hi to all the people out there watching here tonight. Appreciate you spending our Tuesday with us, whether you're rooting on your favorite driver, just here having a good time watching the 87's go at it. You don't see too many of these series left in iRacing, and you certainly don't see a group as talented as what we're seeing here tonight from the ISRL guys. They're putting on a heck of a show, and despite that one caution, to go 63 laps, well, minus a few, I guess I should say, almost 60 laps under green at a track as tough as Atlanta, as slick as Atlanta, and cars as hard to handle as the 87's. There's certainly nothing to be ashamed about, that is for sure. And there's your pass to the lead just on time. Michael Dorsey, for the first time tonight, is actually going to have to hand over the lead. Jared Wishon takes over. And if you are the 99 right now, I got to think you're hoping for a pit stop here. Problem is, he might have to wait another 20 plus laps or so for that pit stop. And I think he just finally overused his stuff a little bit. Let's see if we can ride on board and compare a couple things with these two. First, let's take an eye on Jared Wishon here through 1 and 2. Nice smooth line. You can tell it's getting really tight. Almost out of the throttle until 3/4 of the way through the turn, and doesn't even get full throttle until we're fully on the straightaway. Let's take an eye on Michael Dorsey here working his way through 3 and 4. Now a little interesting here, which you kind of could see there. I know it's different turns, but Michael Dorsey is taking a much more aggressive entry into the corner, and that's definitely not helping the case for his tires, but it's also making it harder for him to get a good exit as he really has to check up to the center of the quarter. Jared Wishon is taking a little bit more of a conservative entry, gets off the gas early, Gets all the way down to the bottom, rolls it nice and smooth through the center of the corner. And he is able to get a really nice exit. Chase Paquette has tracked down your leader a little bit here. He is now 1.8 seconds behind, and Jeff Taylor, he'd like to get in on this battle as well, but he finds himself 2.5 seconds behind the leader. Elijah Ennis rounding out your top 5. Aiden Kirker in 6th. And is that Josh Duke looking to make a move? Sure enough, it is. So Aiden Kirker back to 7th. The 32 car is another one of the guys that's looked really fast so far here tonight, especially in the long run. So Aiden Kirker moving back to 7th. Daryl Arnold up 10. He sits 8th right now. Aaron Tribble in 9th, and it's going to be CJ Seymour rounding out the top 10. Anthony Calantuano sits in 11th. Joseph Costello in 12th. Marcus Vanderlee in 13th. Jake Baker in 14th. It's going to be Cameron McCone in 15th. Brian Bick in 16th. Kyle Camper 17th. Paul Weckerly in 18th. Zach Lindgren in 19th. Connor Trafari has still retired for the night in 20th, and so has Richard Kirker. And Jared Wishon, just like that, has already got his lead up to about half a second over Michael Dorsey, who I think is really starting to struggle now. I guess the best indication here would be if Chase Paquette can catch up and pass 99 machine. That would tell you that the 99 has just lost the pace that he had throughout so much of this race already. And, you know, I think when he had as big of a lead as he had at some points, and he'll probably be kicking himself for this later in the race and thinking about it, and if he gets another chance, he might even adjust to it. When you got the lead and that big of a lead here at a track like Atlanta, it never hurts to save a little bit. No point in taking entries any harder. You don't need to extend that gap too much if it's already plenty big enough. So I think he could have maybe saved a little tire, took a little bit more of a conservative entry. But we can't take any credit away because he led as many laps as he has so far here tonight doing his strategy. So more props to him. Meanwhile, back here, the 60 with Joseph Costello running the outside. Looks like he's getting a little tight. Ooh, a little smoke. Oh, we got one spinning across the track. That's the 7 of Aaron Tribble, I believe. Yep, sure enough, it is. Nobody hits him yet. Man, that was a close call for a couple guys. Second caution of the night falls on lap 69. Not quite at the halfway point just yet, but we might reach it here under caution. Actually, I take that back. We have reached the halfway point. Reached it 3 laps ago. Doesn't look like any damage on the 7 car. Looked like just a harmless spin. Probably a case of just getting really loose on these old tires, and that could very well stick around as a trend here for tonight. Man, he's already loose up in the marbles, and at this point, you would need a golf course to have enough room to save it. Oh, it's just getting up there. Maybe, oh yeah, he does. He gets in the wall once he bounces off of it. That's all she wrote. Locks it down. Does a good job of keeping it from backing into the outside wall or from getting too low here and going into the inside wall. As we talked about there, boy, that really was a close call for some of these guys. Good thing that he didn't necessarily have anyone right near him when he first spun. Watch some of these guys coming along. Again, you can't check up quick. Ooh. Oh my goodness, somebody just snuck around the outside. I could not tell who that was. Oh man. Those guys came flying through, just nowhere to go. Let's take a couple more looks at it here. First one from TV3. Here comes the onrush. A little smoke in the picture certainly isn't going to help anybody's cause. Final view of it here. I want to see if we can find who somehow snuck through it. So actually we're going to take a couple more views of it here. First from the spectator stand. We got some guys coming along here. And I think it's going to be somebody in this general area, maybe a little bit further up. Looking for it. There you go. Is that going to be... Trying to get through it here. It's certainly not wanting to cooperate with me too much. Couldn't tell exactly who it was. Definitely was not any of your leaders. Didn't have to worry about that in that case. But man, close call. Definitely made a couple of these guys' hearts skip a beat. That is for sure. Let's take one final ride on board with Aaron Tribble as he went for the spin here. And listen to the throttle input. It's going to be all that you really need to do here. All right, here we go. Take a listen. He did it. You know what? I'll tell you what. He did the opposite of what we saw Richard Kirker do earlier, and he did a good job with it. At a certain point, you got to get out of the throttle. I know you want to try to keep speed, keep your track position, but I think if he stays in the throttle any longer there, he either spins it all the way around, backs into the wall, or maybe goes down the track, gets into that inside wall pretty hard, gets some front-end damage, which would certainly hurt his chances. But does a good job saving it, and now we are under caution. No harm, no foul. Up front, Jared Wishon still leading. You know, these guys came down, took 4 fresh tires. Michael Dorsey in second. We'll see if he can reclaim his lead. Chase Paquette third, Elijah Ennis in fourth, and Josh Duke in fifth. And you know what? Let's see if we can get a quick word here. Well, at some point throughout this race, hopefully with all of your top 3. Let's start with the man that's been so dominant, though, so far here tonight. Michael Dorsey. Let's go see if we can maybe dial him up. And just as I go ahead and say that, it looks like none of these guys really live to exist in the Discord as of right now. Everybody hopped out, so I guess we will not be getting in-race driver interviews. What we will be getting, though, is top 3 after the race. I can promise you that. And, of course, the trophy presentation to your championship winner here tonight. And that's the man we're keeping an eye on. We haven't had to talk too much about the battle here tonight. It's not too much of a battle. Chase Paquette, as long as he stays out of trouble, as he has done so far here tonight, he's going to be just fine. And with a couple guys already out of the race, all this is doing is further signifying his chances of going to victory lane here tonight. Josh Duke, talked about rounding out your top 5th. Jeff Taylor in 6th. Daryl Arnold in 7th. CJ Seymour in 8th. Marcus Vanderlee in 9th. And Aiden Kirker, again, just, you know, kind of a tough break here. He's been so fast, but now he's going to have to try to make up a bunch of positions. The man who's been on a move, though, most recently has been that 32 machine of Josh Duke. Looked really good in the long run. Kind of was caught in traffic on the short run, so I'm interested to see what he can do here. Starting from that 5th position, I always felt like anybody 5th on up here in the 87's cars on restarts, they usually have a pretty good shot. Maybe trying to make a move at least for a couple positions, if not for the lead here in the first couple laps. But if you're the 96 of Jared Wishon, you know how well it worked last time. Do you try the same strategy here? If the 99 wants it, just let him go. Get him back later when the tires start to really become important, or do you maybe try to make him go for it a little harder this time? Try to take that clean air away from the 99, run his line, make him find a different line if he wants to get around you, and maybe make the 99 use up a little more tire in that sense. Going to be 74 laps completed here on the restart, this time of 134. Over the halfway mark. Going to be crowning a championship winner tonight, a champion, if you will. As the pace car takes the hard left turn back to our single file restarts, we are going to go to the blimp cam again so we can keep an eye on all the action that's going to occur. Watch for stack ups as well here throughout the field. Sometimes those are an issue. Yep, you're seeing a little bit of it here. The 47 backing up. And that is really, really bad news if you're Aiden Kirker, because you certainly needed a good restart. But look at the jump that these leaders get, and Michael Dorsey going to waste no time, already making a move down into turn 1. The question is, can he get clear? And he does. Going to try to slide up in front of the 96. That gets a little close. Does Jared Wishon try to make a move? No, he doesn't. He's just going to give a little bump drive to the 99 down into turn 3. Lets him go. We'll keep an eye on how the strategy pans out for later. And at this point, it is only going to be one more stop to make it the rest of the way, at least in terms of fuel. Not sure about tire. If we were to get a late caution and you had a tire set waiting around, man, you would be in good position. Now, these guys have all used 2 of their 4 sets so far, but I still think we might see at least one more caution here tonight. You got to assume one for that. And if we have a green flag stop, potentially that's your 4th set right there. Big single file line here, working its way into turn 3, but further back, little side-by-side action here. Looks like it is between, I believe that was the 91. Looking back a little bit close to the front, the 91, yep, sure enough, Kyle Camper, and the 98 as well of Anthony Colantuano. Looked like he maybe got on the apron just a little bit, had to bottom out, get out of the throttle, and he's going to lose a few track position spots from it. Now up here, the 47, CJ Seymour is looking to the inside of Aaron Tribble. And you got to wonder now, is Aaron maybe getting in his own head a little bit here? He's been fast all night. You hate to see him falling back down. Not sure if he got a little bit more damage than he initially thought from that contact with the wall, but he's still up there ripping it. He knows that's the fastest way around for him right now, and he is staying committed to it. Driver for Aqua Sim Sport having a good night here so far. Only one incident, but again, no harm, no foul. Did a good job holding on to it, and that is paying off right now. So Jared Wishon second. This time Chase Paquette didn't have to contend with too much traffic on the restart, so he stayed a lot closer so far, as he's still sitting in 3rd position. But you got a couple of hungry dogs just behind these guys. Elijah Ennis, he's got a couple guys in the battle for 4th. Chase Paquette, though, is going to dive to the inside here. Didn't expect this move from the 10 car, but he wants more, looking for 2nd place here over Jared Wishon. See if he can get clear here out of 4. It's going to be close. Does he decide to take it? He does. The 96 is going to get a little draft, maybe even give a little bump draft to the 10. This is going to help their chances of catching up to the leader. Chase Paquette sits about half a second back from Michael Dorsey, but you got to think he knows and at least saw what happened on the last run, and That is that once we got to the really, really late portions of the run, Michael Dorsey was no longer the fastest car. Easily lights out here on the short runs, but if we get another long run, maybe finish this race off with a long run, watch out. Did hear somebody sounded like got into the wall here. Looks like everybody keeps it together, no harm, no foul. This field working their way down here to turn 1. Coming at you at almost 180 miles an hour. 22. Paul Weckerly is going to jump back in line. And speaking of the field, coming at you pretty fast. How about a little crank it up here from Atlanta? Season finale style. Here we go. And that's going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. Not the best segment we've had in a little while. Camera angles certainly weren't helping me here tonight, but Aiden Kirker is going to take that position away from Josh Duke, so we've seen how fast he is in the long run. Maybe he's struggling a little bit, though, in the short run. The boot bar machine is going to have to figure something out if he wants to get some more position here early. Change for the lead. Chase Paquette takes it away from Michael Dorsey. He might have finally decided that it's go time, and he is showing off the speed that has him leading the championship race. Michael Dorsey, though, is not going to give it up too easily. Right back to the inside. And we might be setting up for a little bit of a gladiator-style battle here. These guys are not going to give up, and at a certain point, they might get passed by a couple cars behind if they burn off their tires. Chase Paquette leaning on the door of Michael Dorsey. They're going to stick side-by-side down the backstretch. This will help some of the guys sitting behind catch up. The bottom is the shorter way around. You can see the 99 gets the advantage through the turns, but the 10 making the top work gives them the advantage back on the straights. We've got a caution here. Ooh, 92's got a little damage. Maybe have a couple more involved in this one. Looks like the 56. Marcus Vanderlee gets spun back around. He might have a little damage as well. Sure enough, on the left front. Third caution of the night here flies on lap 84. Let's see what happens. Ooh. This looks like a pretty hard hit for the 56. And it looks like, oh man. That was a really aggressive bump draft. It looks like, to say the least here, was a little bit of a late block, actually. See, the 7 is ripping it on the high side. He's got a great run. I think he was just trying to help the 56 out, give him a little bit of bump draft. Unfortunately, offset him a little bit. 56 gets into the outside wall, and then him and the 7 make some more contact. It's on from there. A couple guys sneaking through, a couple guys flying through. The 56 spins down low. The 92 was having a decent night. That's Brian Bick. This is not going to help his cause, though. Go back, take a couple more views of it here. That's a pretty big hit for both front ends. And then the 92, wow, somehow nobody else hits him. Spectator certainly got a good look at it. You know, it's hard sometimes. A lot of the bump draft usually feels pretty comfortable in these cars, but if you're just off a little bit, especially on older tires, this is what it can do. And it certainly caught Marcus Vanderlee off guard there, and he may not be too happy either. Let's take an onboard view, actually, with Marcus Vanderlee, so I can share what I'm talking about here. Now watch, well, this is after he's gotten turned. Let's watch this slow here. Take a listen. Boom, just a little bit. Gets him off set. Now, one thing I will say here, again, it's hard as a driver because you're feeling it as the car kind of does it. Let me watch it one more time here before it gets just a little bit too jumpy again with the wheel, but it's so hard. You saw that he was going to go into the outside wall if he didn't turn it left. Turned it, unfortunately, just a little bit too far to the left, and at that point it started getting off balance, off weight on both sides, swinging the weight around, and got behind on the steering. Around he went. Second incident now tonight that Aaron Tribble has been a part of. But as we go back live, he does find himself in second right now. And then you gotta wonder, is this a little strategy play here? How are these guys gonna go about it? And since we went green, only about probably 10 laps or so, maybe a little bit more on this set of tires. And guys might think that we're gonna still have a couple more cautions, and a couple of them might be trying to save a set. And this is gonna make this restart fun to watch for sure, because we're gonna have guys on fresh tires and some of the big hitters as well, coming all the way from the back to the front. But either way, Daryl Arnold is leading the way here on lap 86. Aaron Tribble in second, Jacob Baker third, Paul Weckerly in fourth, Jared Wishon rounding out your top five, Michael Dorsey sixth, Aiden Kirker seventh, Josh Duke eighth, Chase Paquette ninth, and Jeff Taylor rounds out your top 10. You know, this is going to be interesting. I don't know how else to put it. I think Michael Dorsey, I mean, Chase Paquette, their battle was just starting to get interesting in itself, but I think they are going to be on an absolute mission to try to get back up here. Maybe get back up here as soon as possible. I know we didn't really have anybody to talk to in the Discord channels that we saw, but it looks like Joseph Costello has hopped in, and hey, we'd like to interview just about anybody in the field if they're hanging around. Let's see if we can get a quick word with them. Hey Joseph, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. What do you think so far, the racing that we've seen tonight? Is it kind of what you expected here from Atlanta, or a little different?
Honestly, it's about as similar as I expected. Atlanta's one of those tracks where it's really tough surface, really old surface with this track configuration. Tires of course gonna be abused, so you have you need to have the skills of tire saving, and unfortunately, I don't fit in that category. But it's crazy. Just trying to salvage that decent finish after what just happened with me. So that's gonna be fun. Gonna try to make our way to the front again.
Well, you had a good qualifying effort near the top 10, so we certainly know you got some speed here tonight. In fact, just inside the top 10. Do you think you have what it takes to maybe at least get back up to the front looking for a top 5 by the end of this thing?
Oh, I don't know. I have one set of tires left because iRacing just took a set of tires on pit road and I wasn't really supposed to. So, I don't know. I want to just give a shout out to everybody at home who's going to be watching, all my friends and family. It's going to be a good rest of the race. We still have about, let me check real quick. We have about 48 laps left, so I have to do extreme cautious tire saving. Going to try to end it on a good note for these guys.
And we could certainly see another caution to add to the chaos as well. All right, hey, thanks for talking to us. Waffle House Racing. I love the team name. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Joseph Costello, Waffle House Racing. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one before. Certainly like it, but back up front. Restart, getting ready to get underway. Watch for the big moves out back. We're going to head back to the blimp cam for it. Pretty good restart here as they work their way past the grandstands where we can see them again. And there's that line of new tires currently being led by the 96 machine. Michael Dorsey just behind Jared Wishon. They are all on a mad dash to get back to the front. Going to waste no time as they dive to the inside of the 17. Almost 3 wide there for just a second. These guys are going at it. Michael Dorsey, he's going to actually try to get to the inside. Up front, the 2 leaders are trying to pull away, but now they're starting to get a little racy. Aaron Tribble wants to get a couple laps left, but we got to keep the battle back here. These guys are going at it, and they are on brand new tires. And they're going to be up here probably by the end of this next lap. Michael Dorsey getting a little bump draft there from the 96, and Aiden Kirker on the bottom, starting to make this thing work. 39 is going to dive low. He would like to clear the 96. Not sure that he's going to have the momentum to do so. And all these guys that are on new tires now, they only have 1 set left in the pits. From all the data that I'm showing, they should only have 1 set left in the pits. Now, a couple of guys that stayed out, they might still have an extra set left, so they would have 2 sets. And I'll tell you what, I think right now I would like to have 2 sets, maybe lose some track position. I think we're still going to get at least 1 more caution before the end of this thing, potentially 2. And sometimes we even see where cautions can breed cautions. If you have new tires late in this thing, you are going to be flying. And there goes Michael Dorsey, 3 wide. Stay with your chest, down through the middle. 1 and 2. He is going to take both positions away. The 6 trying to hang even. And now we're going to see 3 wide for second. The 96, Jared Wishon. He knows how important this track position is if he wants any chance at Michael Dorsey. Maybe looking 4 wide here. Can they do it? They can't. They get back to 3 before they even have a chance to do it. Aiden Kirker slides to the middle. Chase Paquette, he is next in line to do so. Josh Duke as well, but he's going to get trapped behind the 6. So Michael Dorsey reclaims the lead. Did not take him long to do so. But the battle for the lead, this is where we're seeing less tire saving than we have seen all night. Guys are ready to get racy. Putting on a show for us up here in the booth. Starting to try to double file and single file back out a little bit. Josh Duke hops in line. Daryl Arnold continues to fall back right now. He would love to see another caution. So the 7 of Aaron Tribble. Here goes the 32 of Josh Duke through the middle. Makes it work off of turn 4. But up front, the 39 of Aiden Kirker. He has now taken the lead. Keep all eyes up here and on the 39 car. We talked about he'd need a miracle to win this race. Well, not a miracle to win the race, to win the championship. What he wouldn't need a miracle for is to win this race. He could certainly do so off of just the raw speed that he is showing right now. The 39 still hanging side by side on the backstretch. I feel like he's got the preferred lane here if he can make it stick, but how long can these guys go before one of them decides to give in or their tires give in for him? And Kirker drives it down on the right rear, making sure he gets all of the side draft. Gets that big momentum down the straightaway. The 99 of Michael Dorsey, nothing he can do about it. He has to tuck back down in line. He's going to have to regroup, try to find a different strategy. Aiden Kirker up 11 spots from where he started. And man, just when you thought he was struggling to get up here, when he was ready to show the speed that he's had here tonight, he has shown it. Elite Motorsports back to the front after one of their drivers had trouble earlier. Take a look at Zach Lindgren. There he is. Been involved in a couple incidents tonight. Finds himself no longer on the lead lap. In fact, back in 19th, but he likes what his teammate's doing up front. Now, Michael Dorsey, here we go. He's setting up for another charge here. Not sure if he's going to make the dive into 1 and 2, or does he save it for the back? Let's take a ride on board here with Michael Dorsey as he sets up this move on your leader, Aiden Kirker. See where he decides to take it and how he decides to go about it. You see, he's able to stick in a draft here through 1 and 2, but it's just the run's just not quite there. I think he's got to have to move up a lane if he really wants to get the run. So he decides to do there. Man, Aiden Kirker, I don't know if he's mirror driving or what, but he's doing a good job of taking the line away from Michael Dorsey. The problem is Dorsey continues to charge. Ooh, got really tight there to burp the throttle. Keep an eye just behind these two. Chase Paquette is back up to 3rd. And he is on a mission to get to the front as well. Jared Wishon. If any of these 3 slip up, he could be looking at it as well. So now we do have your top 3 in points in the championship battle, running 1, 2, 3. Not quite in that order. In fact, it would be the reverse order. Chase Paquette leads the championship battle. Michael Dorsey 2nd. Aiden Kirker in 3rd. And actually, I take that back. Sorry, Aiden Kirker is actually 2nd in that championship battle. Either way, all 3 of them leading the way, and it's not too surprising. We see this a lot of end-of-season races, season finales. The best guys, the guys that are really fighting for the championship, it's no surprise to see them out front. And we're approaching that 100 lap mark. I don't think that's quite time to panic, but 25 to go. That's go time. If we have a restart anywhere in between that point, guys are really going to start to go for it. And at this point, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure if there's another pit stop scheduled or not. I would kind of think that there is one, but not necessarily sure. Again, we haven't had to worry about the green flag stops yet tonight, as we have had a caution that's, well, basically taken away every chance that we've had at one. Further back, the 98, Anthony Colantuano, Aaron Tribble going at it. Anthony's got the fresher tires. You got to think he's going to be able to make his way around. Sure enough, he does. No issues there. Further back, the rest of the field is starting to get back to single file action. The pack's still pretty close. Paul Weckerly, the last car on the lead lap, sitting in 18th position right now. But up front, I heard rumors from these guys. They said last time they were here earlier in the season, the battling between the top 4 was phenomenal. Kind of had my doubts earlier in the race, but that was just guys feeling it out, getting some practice laps in, saving tire, because, you know, you can never assume that you're going to have cautions. But Chase Paquette took 2nd away from Michael Dorsey, and now he is looking for the lead from Aiden Kirker. You got to wonder if Dorsey is just starting to struggle a little bit now, or if he's maybe the one that's trying some tire-saving strategy. And he is getting ready to be under fire from Jared Wishon as well. Looked like Aiden Kirker maybe tried to throw a little bit of a block, nothing there, and now Chase Paquette's to the inside. Kirker's really going to squeeze him there, doesn't want to give him any room, making sure that the 10 can't get a run here off the corner, but the 39 sure will. Will we see a little side draft here from Chase Paquette? No, he's going to stay low. Aiden Kirker, though, The momentum wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be there down the front stretch. The 10 sticks side by side. These guys got to be careful. Otherwise, we might see a little contact here. Off turn 2, Michael Dorsey got a big run as these two are battling. Watch for the 99 to go 3 wide. Does he stay patient? Looks like he maybe gave a little bit of an arrow push, if you will, to Aiden Kirker. That helps the 39 out just a little bit, but Chase Paquette still working the bottom. It impresses me that he's able to keep it down there that tight for that long. Let's ride back on board here. Gets a little side draft off the turn. That's what's keeping him even here. He's going to go up, get another little one here on the exit of the trial. Has just enough to stay in front of Aiden Kirker on entry. Short away around the track. Compare that to the outside here, Aiden Kirker. He's going to see that 10 get a little bit bigger in that side view window. But Michael Dorsey and Jared Wishon even, these two are still ready to pounce Josh Duke, along with the 11 of Jeff Taylor. They're sitting back watching all this battling. But 3, maybe even a 4-car battle for the lead right now. You could definitely throw them all under a blanket to say the lead on lap 100. Normally we'd go on our side-by-side break, but we're going to hold that for just a little bit because the racing's too good up here to miss. You know, Michael Dorsey has led the most laps here tonight. But late in the going, Chase Paquette and Aiden Kirker have looked like they've gotten shot out of a cannon here as well. Oh, man, Chase Paquette got really loose. Did everything in his power there to keep it off Kirker. And in doing so, he is going to have to give up that position. However, there was a hole for him to squeeze into. Falls back into second now. And he's going to regroup. And I think back on the front straightaway here, he might be looking for more from Kirker again here. We'll see if he tries a dive to the inside down into turn 1. Michael Dorsey right on the back bumper of the 10. He's just going to try to push. I always like being that third place car too. I always felt like you're in a good position. And I feel like you're kind of in control of what happens if you got the speed to do so, which the 99 looked like you had. Give a little push to the second guy. Get him up to the back bumper of that leader. Encourage him to make a move. And while those two use up their tires, you can sit back there saving and watching a little show in front of you. Looked like Chase thought about making a move there down into turn 3. Thinks better of it again. He did get a little push into one from Michael Dorsey. And it looked like that pushed him off his line just a little bit. Nothing too bad, but certainly something that he probably had to think about a little bit. Looking at the gearbox here of Aiden Kirker. There's that little bit of a push that Michael Dorsey is trying to give, but different lines right here. Aiden Kirker, Chase Paquette on the top, Dorsey down to the bottom along with Jared Wishon. Yellow flag is in the air. We got trouble further back. Not sure who it is. We got one spun up here. Ooh, that's the 91 of Kyle Camper. Heavy front damage. Looks like he must have hit the inside or outside wall pretty hard. 4th caution, and oh boy. This is going to eliminate any green flag stops. But now the question is going to be, how many tire sets do you have left? Everybody does have at least one. I think we're going to see a lot of guys take them. This is a break for drivers such as Aaron Tribble and Daryl Arnold. But if you're up front, what do you do here? Do you use your last set now, as we're going to be having a restart probably somewhere around 25 to go, or do you save it? If you have 2 sets, you certainly come here in the pit, and you will have that last set if we need it. All right, let's go back and take a look at the yellow here brought out by Kyle Camper. Not sure if there's going to be contact here or if he just gets into the wall by himself. Ooh, looks like this actually starts in front of him with Aaron Tribble and Mark Vanderlee. See what's going to happen to these two guys. Go to the chopper view. And this is hard side-by-side racing, and it looks like it's going to end up as a little contact. Clean here. Look at that little contact. The 56, a little bit late to turn down into the trial. The 7 of Aaron Tribble has to turn there to be able to make it. But he kind of expected the 56 to turn, I got to expect. And when he didn't, those two made contact. And then the real incident, though, looks like the 56 escapes unscathed. This is going to be where the real incident kind of occurs here. For the 91, he's trying to avoid jumps to the outside. Can't. Heavy contact with the back end of Aaron Tribble. So much for a good break for the 7. He's going to have damage as well to fix. 91 goes for a slide. Caution is out. Let's take a couple more views of it. Got one from the pit cam. I tell you what, I like the spectator camera. I always felt like it gives a good view of it, and this happened right in front of the turn 1 spectators, exit of the trial, if you will. Tough break, but man, you know, a lot of series I like to see green flag runs, and we've seen them tonight. So not to take any credit away, but a late caution in the 87's would make for an absolutely phenomenal finish. The battling up front has been phenomenal, especially the last 20, 25 laps or so. And I just look to see it get better from here. Wish we had a couple more guys to get interviews from at the point in this booth, because, man, we've seen tonight. I'd love to hear the takes and the opinions from some of the leaders right now, but again, don't see any of them in here. And on that note, we are going to go ahead and take another side-by-side break, but we will be back before we go green. Stick with us. Front, now we're going to see a little four-wide action.
Crazy out of the triangle.
Oh, he gets out into the lead under Reckon.
3x3 entering 4.
3D.
Blocked.
At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Atlanta Motor Speedway, closing in on what is going to be 25 laps to go. Not sure if it's going to be 25 here for the restart or just a few laps after. And not quite at 25 to go just yet. Should be getting that signal next lap here. Next lap or two, rather. But we are going green this time. Single file line. Your leader is Anthony Colantuono. Second is going to be Joseph Costello. Aiden Kirker in third. Michael Dorsey in fourth. Chase Paquette rounding out your top five. Jared Wishon in sixth. CJ Seymour in 7th, Elijah Ennis in 8th, Brian Bick in 9th, and Jeff Taylor rounding out your top 10. And I think if you're Anthony here, you're a sitting duck, but I think maybe you're trying a little strategy here, hoping to catch a caution. Maybe the next 10 to 15 laps from now, come and get a set of tires. See what happens from there. The 60 as well, Joseph Costello, just talked to him a little while ago. And the strategy might be working out pretty good for him right now. Aiden Kirker, Michael Dorsey, Chase Paquette, the 96. Those are the big four that we have been watching closely throughout this race. And we'll see what they can do here as well. 108 of 134 laps completed here so far at Atlanta. Chase Paquette tried to dive to the inside of Michael Dorsey. He cut that move off in a hurry. Now the 99 looks to wash up the track. He's not going to block that move. Aiden Kirker already up to second. The 99 is going to throw a little bit of a block. Almost some contact there. Kirker quickly moves to the inside and going into turn 3. He's looking for the lead. And he is going to get it from the 98. Anthony Colantuono is going to fade here, but that is because of tires. Keep an eye, though. These four already almost back to the top four. Chase Paquette had to show a lot of patience there with Michael Dorsey. I thought for sure he might get into the back of him and turn him there off of turn 2, but he didn't. Paquette now gets past the 98, the 96, and next in line. He's going to have to dive it in. We'll see if he can get clear this time further back. Guys trying to sort it all out as well. Looking at the blimp cam, though, the 60 continues to lose spots here. Joseph Costello. And Aiden Kirker, he's got a little bit of a gap here, almost 0.4 of a second. Not really anything that you can get too comfy with just yet, but we'll see how long he can hold on to that lead. Out of turn 4, Michael Dorsey, I think these guys are going to close it. I mean, you see these three are almost not bumper to bumper just yet. I think they will be bumper to bumper before this thing's all said and done. And we are going to have a good old classic finish at the end of this thing. Gap now down under 0.3 of a second with 25 laps to go. Oh, we got one spinning in the back. Caution's going to fly back out. Don't come back up the track. Oh, that's a close call. Maybe even some contact. Couldn't tell who this was. I think it might have been Aaron Tribble. No, that was just ahead of Aaron Tribble. Oh, it's Kyle Camper. Another tough break for the 91 machine. Well, we put out a poll. I didn't even get time to take it down for the vote, I guess. But hey, would we see another caution? 100% of you said yes out of the one person that voted, and you would be correct. 5th caution of the night. Watch this. Is this going to start with the 91 or is this going to start ahead? But no, this is going to start ahead, sure enough. That's the 60. Oh, man, Joseph Costello, who actually started second on that restart. Not sure if there's going to be some contact here, if he's just going to get out of shape by himself. Let's take a look. Ooh, washing up a little bit. The 4 gets into the back of him. On the right side, he comes down. Josh Duke gets collected, and then... Actually, I think the 91... I think Kyle Camp actually might have avoided that, which would be a heck of a job in doing so. And there's that little bit of contact. It does not take much in these cars. It really doesn't. The 92, Josh Duke tags him in the left side. And yeah, the 91, man, that was a close call for Kyle Camp. Good job avoiding that one. Oh my goodness. Take a ride on board here. In fact, we do need to take a ride on board here with Kyle Camp after that one. And I keep calling him Kyle Camp. It is Kyle Camper, so I do apologize. But before we talk about anything else, let's go back and ride on board with Kyle Camper here. My goodness. He sees the spin happening in front, and at this point, he's already checking. He actually kind of gets back in the throttle. Now he's full checkup, full checkup, full checkup. Ooh, maybe a little net coat or a little tag to the left side, but no major damage. Fortunately, he already does have damage in the front from earlier incidents. So out of this, Aiden Kirker is going to come out still holding on to the lead here. This is probably going to put us within 20 laps to go if I had to guess. And if you do have a tire set sitting around, I don't think you take it just yet. Too much chaos and craziness going on here at the end. And I think with the cautions we're starting to see now, we might be breeding a couple more cautions here before this thing's said and done. Michael Dorsey is second, as we just noted. Chase Paquette in third. Jared Wishon in fourth. CJ Seymour in fifth. Elijah Ennis in sixth. Anthony Colantuano in seventh. That might have been a lucky break for him. We'll see if he decides to come down and take any tires here. Jeff Taylor in eighth. Brian Bick in ninth. And Daryl Arnold rounds out your top 10. Again, if you're just tuning in, we appreciate you being here. I'll tell you what, the hardest thing to do whenever you're broadcasting a new lead for the first time, well, it's a couple things. First thing is making sure you get everybody's name correct. That's why, again, I apologize up here if I've messed anybody up. I certainly know I probably have gotten a couple wrong. Couple times, but and the other thing is you don't really know how these guys race. You're kind of learning everything about them as you go, but what I have learned so far is that everybody you see in the top 4 right now has came to play and win tonight. In the top 2 in the championship battle, they are there for a reason. Michael Dorsey, Aiden Kirker, and Chase Paquette absolutely putting on a show here in the late going in the 87 series for the ISRL Iceman Sim Racing League. And we put the Discord in the description, so make sure you go check them out if you're interested in maybe becoming a driver or joining. We also have the Ghost Racing Network Discord in the description. Make sure you check that out as well. And if you're new here tonight, let us know what you thought. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, whatever makes you feel like you gave us some feedback. We certainly appreciate it here at Ghost Racing Network. And it's looking like we should get the 1 to go signal this time. That would put us going back green with 20 laps to go. And I'd like to see if we can get an interview here from some of these guys. Looking around, Richard Kirker is sitting in the waiting room. And I know his night's retired, but hey, let's see what he's thought of the racing out here tonight. Why don't we? Hey, Richard, I know you're retired from the race right now, but this is Austin Up the Booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to ask you, so far, let's start with, what do you think of the racing that we've seen so far here tonight?
Good racing, a lot of good racing here. It's typical of our league. Mostly clean, right? We're pretty much incident free, and you got the guys up front that are typically up front. So,
all right. Well, Aiden Kirker, Michael Dorsey, and Chase Paquette, the 3 championship contenders. Now we know Chase probably has this thing locked up, but if you're Aiden Kirker right here, is there really any strategy about going at it, or at this point is it gloves off and just racing as hard as you can to the finish?
I think Aiden, obviously my son, and he's going to race Chase very clean. He's going to race him hard. At the end of the day, I don't think he's going to put him in any kind of position to take him out or do anything like that. So you're going to see a good fair race, I think, to the end.
All right, well, we're excited for it. Hey, thanks for getting a quick word with us, Richard.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Doing a great job. Really appreciate you coming on board for this last race, and hopefully we can pull you in for some broadcasts next season.
All right, sounds like a plan to me. We'll be talking to Richard at some point after this race. All right, here we go. We're looking for the green flag back in the air, back to the restart zone. Aiden Kirker gets a pretty good jump off the line, but just behind him, Michael Dorsey is not going to let him slip away too quick this time. The 39's got a comfortable lead here as we enter turn 1. It usually takes about a lap or so for everybody to close up. And just as we were starting to see that last run, that's when we saw the caution fly, but a lot more organized on this restart. Not too much side-by-side just yet, a little bit out back. A couple guys looking to get runs on a couple other guys, but oh, we got the 10. That's Chase Paquette. Looks like he almost got into the wall. If he didn't, I think he might have actually. Oh, what happened here to the 10? Let's back that up real quick. Did he just get in too high here? Oh, he does. In fact, you see right before entry, yeah, just gets sucked into it right on entry, in fact. Does a good job getting out of it pretty quick, but that does cost him a position. It's definitely going to cost him some time, but recovering pretty quick here. Michael Dorsey, about a car length or two back right now from your leader, Aiden Kirker. He does not even have enough room to really breathe. Further out back, we got a little 2x2 racing. Looks like Brian Bick on the inside in the 92 machine. Daryl Arnold as well. He's in this battle. Looks like actually maybe blinking a little bit in the 6 Coca-Cola machine. Those guys continue to duel it out, but we got to keep it up front. That's where all the racing action is happening. I know we got a little while left as Michael Dorsey actually falls back a little bit there. Almost got side by side with him and Chase Paquette, but they sort it back out. Now what I was going to say is I know we got a little while until we get there, but if we do make it all the way to the white flag under green, this race will be official. And these front 4, this is the craziest thing to me too. As hard as they look like they're battling, they're still putting time on the rest of the field. Almost looks like Daytona when you have a 4-car draft breakaway, but Chase Paquette not going to waste any time. I thought maybe he would try to give Michael Dorsey the opportunity to get up there and see if he could give something to Aiden Kirker, but he wants to get by himself, can't make it work, and he's going to have to tuck back in line. That's what Aiden wants to see in his mirror right now. He wants to see these guys continue to battle it out. The longer and harder that they battle, the bigger of a chance it gives him to not only scoot away, but he knows those guys are using up extra tire in doing so. Going to be coming to 16 laps to go this time. Aiden is running the bottom line. The 99 and the 10 run the top. You got to wonder, does Aiden think about taking the line away? They're getting big momentum on the straightaways. In fact, watch the closing distance right here from Aiden's bumper. You see it. The 99 is going to all but get there down into turn 1. Chooses, looks like, almost makes a move. He's going to go to the outside. I think Aiden that time maybe did try to take the line away. The 99 is going to have to move a lane higher. And that's definitely going to hurt Michael Dorsey's exit just a little bit. Chase Paquette hanging on tight. It looks like the 96 of Jared Wishon, he's falling back a little bit. I got to wonder if he's thinking about a little bit of strategy here. You know, you don't have to save a lot of tire, but if he's saving a little bit while these guys battle, all he's got to do is stay close. All of a sudden, if the tires fall off for everybody else, he might be able to skate right around these guys with no issues. So you got Aiden Kirker still leading the way. Michael Dorsey second. Chase Paquette third. Jared Wishon fourth. CJ Seymour in fifth. Elijah Ennis, we're going to keep it up front. We'll go through the rest of your running order. Jeff Taylor in 7th, Brian Bick in 8th, Cameron McCone in 9th, Daryl Arnold in 10th, Jake Baker 11th, Josh Duke 12th, Aaron Tribble in 13th, Anthony Colin Tuano in 14th, Paul Weckerly in 15th, Kyle Camper 16th, Joseph Costello in 17th, Marcus Vanderlee in 18th, Zach Lindgren in 19th, Connor Trafari rounds out your top 20. He is retired from the race, and so is Richard Kirker, who we just talked to a few moments ago. He sits 21st. All right, here we go. Here's the move for the lead. Michael Dorsey to the inside. Aiden Kirker on the outside. He's still got the momentum. I think that outside is the preferred lane at this point in the race. And you can see that's why Aiden went up to it. A little bit more tire saving by rolling the bottom smoother, but Aiden is going to do everything he can here to hold that lead. Dirty Air is his best friend right now. If he can take the line away from the 99, or even when it gets side by side, hold the outside line, I think the tires are going to last long enough where that outside will stay strong for the rest of this race. The 96, though, Jared Wishon, he's on the move. He got past Chase Paquette here in that last lap. We'll see. Maybe he's got something here. Maybe he did what we were just talking about, a little tire saving. He might have a little something here for the end as we're going to be coming to 12 laps to go next time. And let's give a shout out to the 47 of CJ Seymour. We said we might be seeing him later towards the front. Driver out of Mariana, Florida. I can Seymour Racing, another one of my favorite team names out here tonight. He's found himself back in the top 5, up 9 from where he started, and looking to cap out the season finale with a good finish. And at a certain point here, the 99's chances at making a move are going to become less and less because the tires just become more and more fragile. It just becomes harder to find any grip. And I think each lap that we see him make a move and it be unsuccessful, that's one less chance he's going to have at making a move. The 96, though, of Jared Wishon, he caught back up, and I thought he would make a move there, but he is being very, very patient. He knows just how important those tires are going to be, especially at the end. He doesn't want to overwork them at all. He is going to stay very conservative about when he makes moves. And if he has the speed to, he very well might try to make sure that the 99 gets up there, even if he has to give him a little bump draft and encourage the 99 to try to make a pass. Dorsey thinking about the inside here. It seems like he's thinking less and less about it each lap, but this time he gets a little bit of a different approach on it. Gets a big arc down through the corner, and he might be able to hang side by side with Kirker. This time he's trying to. He does. He's got by the quarter panel. He's going to have to really dive it, though, here into turn 3 if he wants to have any chance of getting clear. Kirker's really going to pinch him down. Dorsey and the 39 side by side out of turn 4. Watch for the 96. He could go through wide here. What does he want to do? Is he going to give a push to the 99? No, he's going to kind of go back up to the top line. And Aiden Kirker, the momentum's still working. He is back to the lead here up top, entering turn 1 with 10 to go. Your top 3 right now are no longer all 3 in the championship, but your top 4 sure are. Chase Paquette still hanging around. He might be looking to make another move here on Jared Wishon soon in the 47. CJ Seymour, don't count him out just yet. He's still in camera view of these guys. Ooh, Aiden dropped to the bottom. That could be a mistake here. Watch for a big run from the 96 up top. Kirker's going to have to do something here. Will the 96 push him, or does he look for a move here? He's got all the momentum in the world. Kirker blocking up top. Nowhere for him to go. The 96 has to stay behind the 39 for now. The bottom line is still wide open, but you can see these guys are not too big of a fan of it. Chase Paquette, Jared Wishon both trying to run the middle and top line. Another big run here. Does he dive to the inside this time? Aiden Kirker is doing all the driving out of his mirror right now. 3 different lines there. That's all these guys just trying to get a little bit of clean air on the nose. The 96 has got the left front out just a little bit in clean air, and then the 10's got the left front even a little lower. Here's the move. The 96 of Jared Wishon. He dives low off of turn 4. He got side by side, but he's going to have to try to get clear here in turns 1 and 2 if he wants to make it work. Really sends it in. He's going to have to pull a slide job here. Actually, the 39 dives low. You got to wonder, is there a crossover move coming here from Aiden Kirker? He does. He's got the momentum. Is he going to dive back to the inside? He does. Looking for a side draft here down the backstretch. Splendid move from Aiden Kirker. Just when you think he's going to lose that lead, he knew exactly what the 96 was going to try to do and sliding up in front of him. And there you go, the 47. CJ Seymour on the inside of Michael Dorsey. He's going to try to take that position away, and all of a sudden does the 47 maybe have something to come battle for the win as well. And Jared Wishon, not sure if Kirker had a little bit of an issue there through 3 and 4 or what, but he is going to fall all the way back now, potentially in danger of losing second position. He had clean air the longest, but I think the 96 creeping back for a little bit like we saw was him just conserving some tire, and with what's going to be 6 laps to go at the line this time, Jared Wishon has taken the lead in pretty dominant fashion, already pulled out to half a second. And there might not be anything that these guys could do. Further back, the 47, the 99 continue to battle. Chase Paquette has taken second away from Aiden Kirker. And at this point, if you're Jared Wishon, you probably just want to see the white flag. They did get to battle a little bit now that Chase Paquette has gotten around Kirker and has just got his sight sets on the leader. We'll see what he can do. Running a little bit of a higher line than a 96 here. Again, we could still very well see a caution before this thing is all said and done. The 47 and 99, they are determined to keep going at it. That is the battle for 4th right now. The top line still rolling pretty well. Aiden Kirker has went back down to the bottom. Chase Paquette still up top. But now the gap to the lead has stretched back out to 0.6 of a second. 5 laps to go here at Atlanta. Taking a look back to the field, making sure there's nothing too crazy going on. Everybody's pretty sorted out. Got a little bit of a battle going on back here. This is going to be between Daryl Arnold, and it looks like Cameron McCone. Cameron's had a pretty nice recovery here, looking to get back inside the top 10 before this thing's all said and done. The 85 not on the lead lap currently. There's Anthony Colin Tuono, excuse me. Man, I just cannot pronounce his last name right. There is Kyle Camper sitting in 15th. He's got heavy front end damage. 60 of Joseph Costello. Marcus Vanderlee, all these guys just about single file. The 85 is looking for a lap back, but he is going to go to the outside here. I believe that is indeed McCone. Yep, sure enough, the 4 machine. But back up front, it is all Jared Wishon right now. He's not led too many laps today, but he is potentially going to lead the most important ones here, and that is the final laps, as we are going to be coming to 3 laps to go. 2 more chances for a caution if we're going to get one. Meanwhile, how about the late run here from CJ Seymour? He is now up to 3rd, looking for more here. He's going to have a chance of stealing 2nd now from Chase Paquette, and I know it sounds like a long shot, but if he can get clear down here through 1 and 2, and he does, the 47 maybe he's got something here for your leader. Chase Paquette's going to try to cross over. We'll see if the momentum works for the 47 off of 1 and 2. And it looks like it does. All right, CJ Seymour, here's your chance. What can he do here? He's going to have 2 laps. He's got a second deficit. I'm not sure if he's got newer tires or not. Quick shout out, youtube.com at ICanSeymour. Go check him out. Doing a wonderful job. If nothing else, hey, getting second tonight in the season finale is certainly a good way to go out. 2 laps to go. And that means the last chance for a caution if we're going to get one here tonight. We talked about it in your race info earlier. 200 laps here at Atlanta. All came down to a phenomenal battle at the end between the championship 3 and, of course, the man that's looking like might get this thing done, Jared Wishon. CJ Seymour, he had a phenomenal run. He's looking to bring home second. Chase Paquette is going to finish the highest of the top 3 at points coming into this race. And if he can do so, even if he can't do so, he will be locking home that season finale championship here tonight at Atlanta and become the season champion. One more time around for Jared Wishon. He's got one more set of corners to execute right. Saved a little tire when it mattered most, just when you thought the battling was going to decide who the winner was. He crept in the shadows. He waited to make his move. He was great on the long runs tonight. Didn't know if he had it for the short run, but he certainly did here at the end. Over a second lead here that he had built up on the white flag, and coming out of turn 4 for the final time, he is going to do it. He wins the season finale at Atlanta. Nicely done to Jared Wishon. Dominating performance in the sense of just strategy play. I think he really outthought some of these guys here towards the end, and he gets the job done. CJ Seymour second, and Chase Paquette running at your podium, finishing in 3rd tonight. And of course, he is officially, well, I guess I shouldn't say officially, as I'm not the admin's, unofficially going to be your season champion. Congrats to the 10. We will be hearing from him not only in pre-race or post-race interviews, but also in victory lane as well. Make sure you stick around for that. And he comes around here, is going to do a little burnout action, and as he does so, we are going to go get ready for your top 3 interviews. Stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back live at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Got your top 3 in the booth. We are going to start first with 3rd place finisher and unofficial season champion, Chase Paquette. Chase, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, I want to save your championship celebration and whatnot for your victory lane celebration here with Emma in just a little bit. But let's talk about your race here tonight, man. Great finish. You bring it home 3rd. What more do you think you needed to go for a shot at the win there towards the end?
Oh, a lot more grip. A lot more grip. Even off the get-go, from lap 1, I almost wrecked the whole field off 4. Just struggling with grip all day. I feel like the Jared and Michael had it all day long, better than we did. So, great day though.
Well, you might have been struggling with grip, but hey, a 3rd place finish has got to show the consistency over the season. And it's kind of led you to this point. I mean, if there's one thing that you can take away from the season to take in the next, what's it got to be?
Oh man, that's a tough one, man. You know what? I have had so much fun with these group of guys. These guys know how to race. They know how to run a league. That's what I got for you, man. These guys are awesome. Everybody in the league.
All right. Well, hey, congrats one more time on the third place finish here tonight. I know we're going to hear from you probably here again shortly, but just in case we don't, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Oh, for sure, Aiden for throwing out the league, and Daryl. Daryl's been a big help with these cars for me all year long. So,
All right. Hey, thanks for talking to us, and we will hopefully see you in just a little bit.
sounds good, man. Thank you.
All right. Your third place finisher, Chase Paquette in the 10 machine. Now we're going to bring up your second place finisher. A little bit of surprise at the end, but he does a heck of a job getting back up to the front, and that is going to be Mr. CJ Seymour. CJ, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, watching you at the end was thrilling. Man, I'll tell you what, I feel like if you had another 5 to 10 laps, do you think you had something to track down the leader?
You know, that's what a couple of the other guys said, and I just don't know. Those last 2 or 3 laps, man, I wasn't gaining on him a bit. I feel like my tires had fallen off pretty good, and I just don't think I had anything for him, man.
Well, I kind of want to ask you the same question that I asked Chase. Overall, pretty good season, but you found a great way to round it out tonight. How's the momentum tonight going to carry over for next season?
I feel really good, to be honest with you. I really like the Gen 4 car. The 87's cars were probably my least favorite, and I was garbage with them. Racing with this league really helped me get better at them, and I certainly didn't expect to win a race early in the season. I sure didn't expect to finish second today. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about next season.
Well, certainly didn't look too bad watching it from up here in the booth. Hey, before we let you go tonight, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
I'd like to thank Aiden, Daryl, all the admins of the league, just the league in general, man. I've gotten a whole lot better through season 3 racing with these guys. They're really great. Yeah, I guess just them and my wife for sure for letting me race every week and letting her go to bed early without me.
All right. Hey, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the second place finish here tonight.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, your second place finisher. And real quick before we get to your winner, I just noticed again, kind of the first time here when we have to set up a overlay for a new league, there's a lot of stuff that I got to set up for it here. And one of the things that I did forget to set up, one of the most important things is you'll notice on the top there, next to the ISRL logo, it says dash for the cash. That is incorrect. Forgot to change that, so that would very well explain why on the tower all night you probably saw dash for the cash in Talladega. I do apologize for that. I did have it down to say ISRL and Atlanta, but couldn't quite get all the things in time for race time, so I do apologize. We'll have that corrected in the future if ever needed. Okay, on that note, though, not that really anybody cares, let's get back to the interviews, and let's get right to your race winner. Interesting strategy to get the job done here for Jared Wishon. Jared, you got a copy? Jared, this is all stuff at the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
All right. Well, first of all, man, were you saving a little tire there at the end? I mean, how did all of a sudden you look like you got shot out of a cannon to get the win?
Yeah, I was just sitting there seeing them 3 battling hard. I seen Chase was going from the beginning, so I just kind of sat back a little bit and let them use up their tire, and then I just went up through there whenever the time came.
Well, overall tonight, we saw you towards the front. Tire saving's a big deal, but getting the win tonight at Atlanta, although you weren't really necessarily in the championship battle tonight, what do you look to have for next season?
Hopefully we can come out, and I don't think I beat Dorsey on the points, but hopefully we can come out and get three more spots and take home a title.
All right. Well, you may not have got a title tonight, but you got the win here at a very fast track and a very impressive victory, to say the least. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I just want to thank Diecast fans for being on the car, all my teammates at Elite Motorsports. It's just definitely been a fun season racing with all those guys. Thanks to everybody who puts this league on. It's definitely one of the best leagues I've ever ran in, and they'll do a good job each week putting it on, and congrats to Chase on the championship. And thank you for coming out and broadcasting.
All right, man. Well, thank you for talking to us. And one final time, congratulations on your win in the season finale tonight at Atlanta.
Thank you.
All right, and next up here in just a moment, we are going to hear from the Victory Lane, kind of the Victory Lane crew, if you will. I believe Emma is standing by. We'll be with her in just a moment. Stick with us. All right, here we are back live at Atlanta Motor Speedway down in Victory Lane for your championship presentation. Emma standing by.
In keeping with the league tradition, it is my honor as Victory Lane Girl and co-admin of the league to present the championship trophy to the league's top driver at the end of the season. This season, we purposely selected a car and tracks to test all of our drivers' skill. Patience and perseverance are qualities needed to win the chip, and the 87 cars demanded just that. But one driver proved himself worthy of the chip. Without further delay, I present the season championship trophy to Chase Beckett. Chase earned an impressive 5 wins, 12 top 5s, and 14 top 10s. Not only is Chase a great driver, he's a great ambassador to the league. We thank you for your support and congratulations, Chase.
Thank you.
All right, and that is what we're going to hear from Emma. But before we go, we got to hear some speech from Chase. Now, come on.
Oh, jeez. Emma, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Aiden, thank you for what you do around here, man. Thanks for being here each week and doing what you do. You've definitely made this place a great way to get away from reality and just kind of have fun. So I appreciate all that you do, man.
Of course, appreciate you coming out and race with us.
All right, and that is going to do it for our Victory Lane celebrations tonight. A couple more things, though, before we get out of here. We're going to have to go ahead and go through your finishing results, of course. We talked to your winner tonight. Actually, we talked to all 3 of your top 3. Jared Wishon brings it home. Second is going to be CJ Seymour. Chase Paquette finishes 3rd and wins the ISRL season championship here tonight at Atlanta. Aiden Kirker finishes 4th. Michael Dorsey in 5th. Jeff Taylor 6th. It's going to be Elijah Ennis in 7th. Brian Bick in 8th. Aaron Tribble in 9th. Jake Baker rounds out your top 10. Moving on back to 11th, it's going to be Daryl Arnold. 12th is going to be Cameron McCone. Josh Duke finishes 13th. 14th is going to be Anthony Colantuano. 15th, Kyle Camper. 16th, Joseph Costello. Marcus Vander finishes 17th. 18th is going to be Paul Weckerly. Going all the way back here, give me just a moment, to 19th, Zach Lindgren. 20th is going to be Connor Trafari. 21st, last person in the field tonight, Richard Kirker. He did have trouble, though. Tough break for one of the Kirker guys. Just not it. We only had 2, I believe, retire from the race, so all things considered, not a bad night. Hey, the racing was terrific. We certainly enjoyed being here, and I hope that everybody enjoyed watching. Congrats one more time here from Ghost Racing Network to Chase Paquette in the 10 car. He is your season champion, and congrats to Jared Wishon on winning the race here tonight. Until next time, have a good one.